Peak has returned! Ah! This is one of my favorite things in Pokemon. Okay, let's be real. Everything Pokemon is one of my favorite things in Pokemon. But this, in particular, is so goated. Pokemon Concierge. Part 2 is out now, with Part 1 coming out back in 2023 on Netflix, and this part also coming on Netflix, so Season 1 is now fully complete. Although it kind of feels like two separate seasons because of the time in between. But since I didn't review Part 1 when it came out, I'll use this as a place to review the series as a whole, not just Part 2. So even if you don't know anything about the series, you can watch this review. It's not gonna, only talk about the second part or anything, or spoil everything in the series. Pokemon, as you all most likely know, is a series where catching and battling Pokemon is the main focus, to describe it at the most surface level. But what goes on with the population that doesn't battle? There have been plenty of non-combative Pokemon games and spin-offs, but if you aren't aware of them, then let me tell you, they are always some of the best Pokemon experiences because you get to see a more realistic take of the world. How it would be for us normal people, us normal civilians who aren't 10-year-old battling prodigies, gym leaders, aspiring Pokemon masters. What about the people who just want to work a day job, a 9 to 5, and go home to their pet Vulpix? What about the guy who makes the Pokeballs for those Pokemon trainers and just wants to go home and chill with his pet Meowth? What about the guy who makes stupid YouTube videos and is never going to get anywhere, and then he comes home and wants to just chill with his pet Pikachu, but he accidentally touched the Thunderstone he wasn't supposed to touch when he was gone, so now he's a pet Raichu, and, I guess that's cool, but you're cuter as Pikachu, so now I don't know what to do. But I'll still chill with the Raichu because I love and accept him for who he is. I don't know how we got there. That wasn't even in the script. Let's move on. In this specific series, we follow a woman named Haru who is down bad. Life sucks ass, work sucks ass, and she visits a Pokemon resort. And after kind of realizing, oh, it's kind of lit here, you get to hang with the Pokemon, you get to all these experiences, you get to help them out, she ends up working there as a concierge. So she spends the series working with the Pokemon of the island and the visiting trainers Pokemon, just helping them in various ways. It's on Netflix, as I mentioned, 8 short episodes. And let me just tell you folks, this is a must watch for Pokemon fans. I always feel like any anime for Pokemon that isn't the main series, they just go all out in. Now, don't get me wrong, the main anime is goated and I'm loving the new arc of Horizons, but it does follow the non-stop weekly series format that's been going on since the 90s instead of a parts or seasons formula. I guess technically the Pokemon anime is in parts, but you get what I mean. For the most part, it runs non-stop without many breaks at all. So the quality for the most part has a set ceiling. While the spin-offs don't have that holding them back, they have a bit more attention to detail allowed because they probably take more time to produce. They're shorter series without being rushed. Oh, you gotta get the new episode out by Saturday. And I also like things like Generations or Origins, for example, that show game protagonists, game versions of the characters, and more stories closer to the games in general, with some liberties, of course. Same reason I like the manga, because even though the manga takes a lot of liberties, it's not nearly as crazy as the anime, and you could kind of see it as being the game world, but a little different, because, it's a manga, not a game. It's gonna go a bit differently, of course, and you gotta revisit characters when remakes come out, so they gotta make new stories for characters whose stories already finished and give them new arcs and stuff. But we're not here to talk about the manga right now, although I love Adventures and the other Pokemon manga, but we can make a whole video for that a different day. But pretty much what I'm saying is when we get to focus on game characters in the anime, but it also doesn't have to be tied to the games. Look at Dragonite the Postman. Look at this. Look at the beautiful little shorts that they put on their social medias. I follow Pokemon Japan on Instagram, and they're always posting cozy little things. And same with this. I don't come to this to see the lore and the expansion of the world. I can get that in Legends ZA coming next month, but I come here for coziness and feel good vibes. The series is in stop motion, which is always goated, but I also love seeing Pokemon translate into that style. Pokemon's transition to 3D in general, as you know, has been complicated. From the old stadium games to X and Y introducing them to mainline, to Detective Pikachu, the movie. Look at that Charizard. But this is chef's kiss. They translate perfectly. I need to see all 1025 Pokemon in this style now. Right now, there's at least 30 something, because I got pics of them right here. There could be some that I missed, but I don't think I missed too many. So we could confidently say there's about 900 and some change to go. But let me know in the comments if I did miss any. But also in the comments, tell me what Pokemon needs the concierge treatment. Out of my favorites, Pikachu's already there, but I need Quilava. I need Sylveon. I need Pichu. Or you could pull out something diabolical. Give me Darkrai. Give me Mewtwo. Give me Rayquaza. It could be any Pokemon. It'll look heat. It doesn't have to just be the cutesy ones. It can be some of the nutty ones too. I mean, Metagross translated pretty well. Gyarados, I think, looked cool. I don't think they missed with anyone. Of course, it does lend itself well to some of the cuter Pokemon, which is why they're the majority of them. But I wager that seeing Zekrom in this style wouldn't be that bad. It's kind of like seeing a plushie of them, you know? Just plushify them a little bit, soften those edges, fur them up, and they'll look all right. The humans also look good too, and the art style on the characters in general just works really well with the style. And the only reason I say it like that, because normally the style and the art of the human characters would go hand in hand because it's the main focus, but in a series like Pokemon, obviously the Pokemon are the main focus. But in this case, I think the humans work just as well, and looking at them is pleasing too. All in all, this show's aesthetic is absolutely peak. The voice acting is also really good, not only in the humans, but once again, I gotta make this separation because it's Pokemon, but the Pokemon too. This series is one where the Pokemon don't say their names like the main anime. They actually make noises besides Pikachu, because Pikachu. But what do y'all prefer? The mainline anime take of them saying their names, the spin-offs which sound closer to real animals, or the games which is like the latter but digitized due to them starting back on the Game Boy? I love all three, I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely prefer the last two that I mentioned. The anime way is okay. I'm used to it because it's how I grew up, you know, hearing them say their names, but hearing me sending out a Turtwig and it going Turtwig as opposed to it going or something. I don't fucking know what noise a Turtwig makes. I kind of prefer the second one. I think it hits a little bit harder. Although it sounds closer to, I guess Turtwig is the young one, so it would go like, wait, no, that's a little weird. It have a higher voice than that. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try anymore. But I don't know. The games I like, but I like to keep those ones to the games because, as I mentioned, they sound more game-like than real, like, I don't know. Also has a dub, but I cannot speak on its quality as I have not seen it. If anyone has seen it, feel free to drop your thoughts on it in the comments for people that are probably going to watch in dub. I know a lot of Pokemon fans prefer dub because Pokemon is an anime that is more mainstream and worldwide for decades as opposed to some niche anime that nobody's seen the dub of. So, you know, I don't blame you if you want to watch this in English. So, you know, if someone has seen it, help us out. What do y'all think of the English dub? Moving on, the music is outstanding. It has a lot of relaxing tropical vibe shit, a lot of more feel-good stuff, with what I remember to be a few remixes of game tracks sprinkled in, and amazing vocal tracks for the theme songs of both parts. So it's just a great time. I think on Netflix, one of the Netflix channels on YouTube, when I was making this video, I looked up some of the songs so I could re-listen to them while writing the script. Kind of get me in the mood. And I forgot which Netflix channel it is, but they have a compilation of some of the songs in it. And then obviously for the vocal tracks, they're songs from like established singing artists, so you can look those up as well. I definitely recommend checking those out, even if you don't check out the series, but you should probably check out the series. Moving on, kind of circling back to this topic about slice of life Pokemon just being peak in general, because there's so many things you don't normally think about, but makes sense when you think of the Pokemon as a pet from that point of view instead of this battling animal creature. I'm going to take this opportunity to highlight two episodes that do this best in my opinion. First off, my favorite episode of the series, from part 1 we have episode 4, Welcome to the Pokemon Resort, which reconstructs our idea of Pikachu as a whole, showcasing a shy Pikachu who isn't super gung-ho about everything despite his trainer's wishes, while the various Pikachu we meet in most media are super happy, ready to yap to strangers, and ready to scrap at all times. This one's not, you know, almost like a scared little kid, and like I mentioned, its trainer wants it to be otherwise, and they're trying to help this Pikachu get braver and stuff, but it just isn't there yet. But it still loves its trainer and wants to be with him. It just isn't ready to do some of the stuff that the trainer wants him to be doing. And without getting super deep into it, like, it is my favorite episode of the series, one of my favorite things from Pokemon ever. It's super sweet, and I genuinely cried at this episode. And Pikachu sounded oh my god, I might play a voice clip here, but it just sounded so sad. But my point is that just like real dogs or cats, it makes sense that Pokemon can have all sorts of personalities that aren't set in stone, as noted by the director themselves when they were talking about this specific episode. Also in season 2's second episode, which is episode 6 overall, there's a dilemma I really enjoyed that had to do with Pokemon and evolution and responsibility. There is a man who befriends a Spheal while on his boat and becomes its trainer, a small cuddly Pokemon probably about this big. It's probably even smaller, it's probably closer like this, but evolves into a much larger Celio, which is pretty big, which obviously is much harder to care for a normal person. And it still has another evolution left that's even bigger. And after bringing Celio to the resort and seeing how much fun it had with the free open waters as opposed to being restricted back home, he decides to low-key abandon it. But for what he thinks is in the best interest of the Pokemon. So it is fucked up, but thought it was gonna be good. Like, you know, you get to hang out with the homies in the water all day instead of being stuck back home. And you know, the episode goes on, and I won't spoil the rest of it, but this is a great topic for Pokemon. Like, imagine your house cat IRL became a lion overnight. What would you do? You know, your small Chihuahua became a fucking, what's the real life equivalent of a Houndoom? I don't know, a fucking coyote or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a bigger dog. But like, imagine your Chihuahua, you come back and it's a fucking wolf. What would you do? Realistically, like, even for non-water Pokemon, bigger Pokemon need more food, are more dangerous, just a bigger hassle in general, and not everyone can care for all these. I mean, little Timmy, who got a fucking Growlithe for Christmas, and now has a big-ass Arcanine, and his fucking allowance isn't gonna cover that Arcanine's kibble. What do you do? However, I must mention this. Adopt or catch Pokemon responsibly, trainers. Use that trusty Pokedex so you know beforehand if your stupid fucking fish is going to become a big-ass dragon, or if your starter Pokemon that started on 4 legs is suddenly going to have 2 legs and be a whole-ass human. There's other small things that I wanted to mention that I really liked. Kind of one of the main themes of this review that I keep coming back to, like just the little things that you wouldn't think about while playing the games. Like seeing Haru cutting a Shink's nails while it's trying to shock her, or a Magikarp that can't swim and they give it floaties, or what is it like seeing your ex at work out of the blue? Yes, this series has a protagonist with love problems. Once again, just stuff you never think would happen while playing the games, but would realistically pop up in the Pokemon universe for normal people at some point. Also, adding on to that, it is nice, especially because it follows a main character who feels like a real person in their 20s that I could bump into on the street, rather than a typical protagonist. So it makes it easier to relate to and see things from her eyes. But I am also jealous of her. This seems like the best job in the world. The series is an episodic one, mainly lighthearted and casual mini adventures with some heart in them. It is still extremely bingeable though, due to its short runtime. And speaking of that, my only complaint about this series is that there isn't enough. We need more. 8 episodes is not enough. I get it though. Stop motion is super hard, takes a lot of time. The biggest of respect. Anything stop motion or clay motion or just anything of that area where you gotta take a fucking insane amount of time to make it, you will always have my greatest respect. Animation in general, I guess. Any art in general, but we're not gonna keep talking. We'll be here an hour later. I'll be like book writers in general, production designers in general, costume designers in general. We'll be here way too long, but this isn't an actual demand or anything. I'm not that entitled, but if the gods will there to be more, then I will be waiting. So I think it's quite obvious that this is a huge, positive, highly recommended sort of review. So I'm gonna keep it short and say, yeah, watch it. Even if you don't like Pokemon, I feel like anyone can enjoy this. This would probably be the easiest gateway to getting someone else to like Pokemon, these little creatures. Especially people that wouldn't care for the battling aspect. I don't know, maybe something like cute things. Show them something like this, and they'll be like, oh, look at the cute little Pokemon, look at this sweet little show, look at the nice little aesthetics and stuff. And it's family friendly. That's always a bonus for those with kids. Could be me though. Anyone can enjoy this. Huge W. It's short. It is heat. I'm actually demanding you to watch it. You have to watch it. If you made it this far in the video, you have to watch it. What do you think of Pokemon Concierge? Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you hate it, you're a bitch. Let me know in the comments. That's all for me for now. But subscribe if you like Pokemon, because I have a plethora of Pokemon video ideas in the works. I mean, next month, I'm definitely going to review Pokemon Legends ZA, my most hyped game of the year. And yeah, that's been me. Peace.